Alright guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another video. This video, of course, as you can read the title, we're going to be doing spark plug service on the E39 M5. I think, if I'm not mistaken, these might be original plugs at 122,000 miles, which is way long overdue. The reason I'm doing it today is because the engine is not running very well when it's cold. So for the first 5 minutes or so, the engine is kind of rough. It idles a little rough, and I'm getting an engine code that says I'm getting 2 misfires. So I have pretty good reason to believe that I'm going to be needing to do spark plugs, which I have to do anyways, which I kind of knew already when I bought the car. The only other thing that we're really going to need today is a spark plug socket tool, which I actually bought, which feels kind of silly to own because I don't do a ton of spark plugs, but when you do them, it's very helpful because it has rubber and it's magnetized and it holds the spark plug in there. And then I have a bunch of extensions because it's going to be hard to get in there. But I'm going to show you what tools I'm going to use. Very simple, just a ratchet and breaker bar, and that's about it. Alright, so let's take this off. I already kind of popped this off. And let's see if I can just pull this out. There we go. And this thing definitely needs to be replaced, so one more thing to do. Oh, there we go. That's gross. It's like melting. A little sensor here. Put that there. That's all we need to take out actually on this area. Alright, same thing over here. So the next step is to grab these 2 bolts, which are 10 millimeters. I would recommend a really small ratchet. Or one that bends. This is really expensive actually. I bought it because I had to, because I had an area that. So anyways, we're gonna undo this one, and we're gonna undo this one on both sides. Okay. I'm always like scared I'm gonna drop it down into the engine. And you can't find these anywhere. I think that's all we need to do.
You need the sledgehammer.
No, I have one. Alright, and that exposes all 4 coil packs, which we'll have to unplug and then grab the spark plugs once we get that done. Okay, so in this first one, of course, taking off this sort of this piece that holds, it guides all the coil wires in, so you're going to have to take off this bolt, which is also a 10, and then each of these, which I just did, I took those 2 off, and then obviously each one has 2. And then this, I don't know if I mentioned, you just kind of pull this up, disconnect the coil pack from the car, and then you kind of just give it a few tugs, you know, directly up, and the whole thing comes out. And directly in there, that's the spark plug. I'm actually a little scared to take this car apart, you know, just because it's not running well, and of course my camera's not focusing. But here is the coil. It looks fine. Everything looks normal on it, so that's good. I'm going to assume I need this little pivot is key here. If I don't have that, I'm pretty much screwed. Alright, so I feel like that's it. I'm going to attach this one. So the key is just being able to I think I might have got it. So far the M5 is not giving me a hard time. I'm going to twist the rest of the way, and I'm really scared. You think it's going to be black?
I have no idea. I just came to check how you're doing.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, so that's looking, I mean, it doesn't look horrible. Why is this camera? There we go. Yeah, so that's, I mean, it's not great, but it's old. Good. So first one down.
7 to go.
Well, I put them in too, yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a 1 by 1.
Okay, Brandon.
You guys will notice this says BMW NGK on it, right there. Hopefully you can see that. So we are replacing it with the NGK, and I'll put the information on this, the window right now, on the video right now. So perfect. And what I'm gonna do is take this out, label it, and then put the new one in. So I'm gonna jinx myself here, but all we have to do, this is extremely helpful for this job. Why is this camera not focusing, dude? Come on. So this is magnetized. I don't know if you can tell it's magnetized, but all you have to do is slide it in, and then obviously it's not gonna fall out. You just kind of go in there, and then you definitely don't want to over tighten these. 30 nanometers is the very max, but really most guys say screw it in and then do another like 2/3 turn, and that's it. Definitely do not over tighten these things, because you'll have bigger problems than worrying about them coming out. All right, so just gonna slide extremely gentle, just help guide it in there, because you don't want to smash the top of the spark plug on anything. And then I just normally casually, start turning this just slightly to get the threads aligned. Once it's in there, it should be okay. Seems to be doing just fine. It's tightening up, so it's acting normal, like not like I'm misthreading it or something. All right, so it's tight, and all I'm gonna do and that should be it. I did about a half a turn just there. That should be more than enough. Really, I'd rather have them too loose than too tight, because I can always go ahead and tighten them in there, but this is not too loose, it's absolutely not. So just gently pull it out, reinstall the coil pack. Just be very gentle. I'm always very gentle when dealing with stuff like this. And I like to plug this thing in. I'm sorry if you guys can't see, but it's just very explanatory. It's very easy. It's a little scary at first, but it's not that bad. The extensions are key here, guys. 10 millimeter with the pivot, and then the pivoting ratchet as well. I'm just gonna give it a nice little tug, and that's all you need. And then this one, I'm gonna attach this little pivoting. That way we can get in there. Because we got the brake master cylinder, or no, that's not the brake master cylinder. That's the oil filters right here. So just give it a nice tug, make sure this is on there good, and we're good. All right, guys, so I'm gonna do the rest of the car right now. I'm gonna do all the rest of the 7 of them. All right, guys, we're making amazing progress. I've done 3 of them already, and I'm on number 8, so the one that's in the closest to the driver's side in the corner. So the one that's hardest to get, be very, very patient. I did notice that this thing, this camera's not focusing. It has like a little white debris on it, and I'm not really sure what that is. And of course I was almost done, and dropped a socket in my engine bay. Or actually no, just a, you see it in there? Dropped a little socket in there, so. Alright, so this thing is insane looking, but this is the magnet I use to get down all the way in there, so thank God. There's no way I could just leave that and let it just fall out. This is actually what I dropped, so that'd be really bad if that got caught up in the engine or the fan or something like that. Alright, so continue, onward. Alright guys, as you can see, I actually got some new air filters as well. I actually bought those a while ago and I forgot I had them, but it's perfect time to put the new ones in. It definitely needed them. And we're gonna go over here to look at the spark plug situation. So all of them are done, and it was actually very, very easy. I remember doing it on my 335 a few years ago, and it was harder on that car. The only thing you have to be careful is this corner is extremely hard to get to, but if you have the pivoting tools, you'll be just fine. So anyways, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is the order. I took them out and I didn't label them yet, but they're in the same order as they would be when you put them in the car, just so I can stay a little organized. And they really don't look great. I am almost certain that they're original. Unfortunately, I will say on like 1 or 2 of them, it looks like there's a chance there's a tiny bit of oil on it. You know, like if you put your finger on it, a little oil might come off. Actually, none really even came off. It's possible that this one is okay, but anyways, I don't know if you guys, you know, there's plenty of people that watch the channel that know a little bit more about this. Like I mentioned, this one is a little kind of like white. You know how these are silver? This one's kind of like, you know, corroded or whatever. I don't know if that really matters, but the coil seemed okay. Hopefully that solves the misfire. We're going to clear the codes right now, and then we're gonna figure it out. All right, so I just cleared the code with my little Ansel code reader and clearer. Plugged it in. Of course, it said the misfires, but we're gonna start her up. Make sure there's nothing. I completely looked at everything, so here she goes. And you guys might not be able to tell, but I will be able to tell if the car is not running smoothly. As you can see, there's no engine lights, but now is the time when it would get a little shaky. And it does feel cold because it wasn't really on, but it seems to be okay right now. Like of course, I know I need to replace this little gauge cluster here. Don't worry about that. It seems pretty smooth. I feel like I would have felt some shudders by now. I want to stay in the car because this is when I know for sure that I was feeling the car. I'm just really feeling it out. I'm sitting in here. So everything seems to be okay. It is a little bumpy, but it's not like it was before. No codes are being thrown on the dash, at least not yet. Sometimes that'll take a little bit of time to drive before it thinks there's a misfire, and then there still could be a misfire. It could easily be a coil pack, which is not a huge deal because, as you guys saw, it's not that bad to get those out of there. All right, so let's get out. I will give you guys just sort of an overview of the car. This is an 03, so it's pretty quiet in regards to the Vanos. And this was literally almost a cold start. I did have it on momentarily while I swapped. The M3 was in this position, of course, and it seems to be running fine. I'll shut up and let you listen to it. That might have fixed it, guys. That might have been it. Alright, so let's get back in here and make sure we don't have any lights, which we might not, just because it's only been running for a couple minutes. Car seems to be good. It might have been the spark plugs. Alright guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. As I mentioned in every video, all of the links are in the description for just really the spark plugs, and I'll just kind of list out the few tools I used, extensions and the little pivot sort of elbows. You're definitely going to need those, and this car definitely way smoother, so I think that's what was it. I will definitely update you guys as soon as something, you know, if I get another engine light or something like that, but it seems to be fine. I'm really happy that this actually worked out. I only dropped 1 bolt, so props for me for only doing that once, and savior was that little long extension on the magnet. So anyways, thank you again for watching. Comment below if there's any questions. Hopefully everything made sense, and I'll see you guys next time.